Hey everybody, this is Sandy Reese of Get Fully Funded, and I have with me today Leah Holt. Say hey.
Hey everybody.
Leah is our resident grant guru and knows a lot of things about grants, and we thought we'd take a minute this afternoon to share with you some ideas around why people don't get grants. We have a lot of people who reach out to us and say, I've tried to get grants, I'm struggling, I just can't seem to get them, what's going on? And we don't like to see people struggle. We know that there's a lot of money out there for grants. We know we both have gotten lots and lots of grant money over the years, and so we thought we would just interrupt your Monday and share with you 8 reasons why people don't get grants. So some of these might surprise you. Some of them will be pretty simple, but either way, we're hoping that you can get one good nugget here that you can take and use to get more grants, and we've got a resource we'll share with you at the end. Okay, so let's jump in. Reason number 1 you don't get grants is because you have the wrong match with the funder. What this looks like a lot of times is that people will go out and do a little bit of research and they get a whole bunch of foundations and they send one blanket letter to all of them and it doesn't work. What you need to do instead is when you find those foundations that look like it's a good match, you have to do what we call it some qualifying or some vetting to make sure that it is a good fit for your organization.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the 3-way fit, if you guys have ever seen it, you should, that's what we're talking about. If you've not seen it, definitely check that out. It's a way to just qualify that you match with your funders on 3 different levels. So programmatically, philanthropically, and also geographically. Mm-hmm. So that the funder will fund where you do your work. So geographically, that the funder will do what you do programmatically. So if you're doing youth education, that they do in fact fund youth education. And then philanthropically, so if you need those program dollars, that they actually fund program dollars, not just give general operating support.
So I think the real takeaway here is that doing your research and doing it well can save you a lot of time later. Mm-hmm. You don't want to spend a lot of time submitting proposals and gosh, a lot of time trying to create things that are never going to get funded in the first place. So you need a good match. Another reason, so reason number 2 why people don't get grants is they're just not ready. We see this a lot with very small organizations. They're very excited and they go, oh, well, we'll just go get grant funding for our new program, our new project. And they're not ready. A lot of foundations, a lot of funders want to see 3 or 4 or 5 years experience under your belt before they'll give you money. The other piece of not being ready is they're just very reactive about, hey, we want to go get the money, and they don't have their ducks in a row. So they haven't really thought through everything. They're not really prepared to talk about what they're trying to do and the need they're trying to address. So they just don't have it together. And that really leads to reason number 3, which is you don't have a well thought out program, and that's keeping you from getting grants. So again, if you're just going after the money and you're thinking, oh, well, we just want to help people. We just want to save animals. We just want to do some good in the world. That might have worked 40 years ago, but it does not work today. Funders are looking for organizations that are doing things that matter. They're looking for organizations who have thought it out and are addressing a specific need and are showing what outcomes they're getting that are making a difference. They're showing the funder what their money is going to do and how the funder's money is going to make a difference in the world.
Absolutely. Funders don't fund things, they fund impact. So they want to see the impact that you're making out there, and that's something that they'll be able to get behind.
That's a writer downer. Funders don't fund funders don't fund things, they fund
impact.
Yep. That's very good. All right, reason number 4 on our list of 8 reasons why you're not getting grants. Sorry, we've got our notes right here in front of us. You might just be chasing money. I've seen clients do this before, or try to do this, where they think, oh, well, we're going to be a little short on revenue in a couple of months. Let's go get a grant. We'll start a new program, and then we'll have the money. Don't do that. That is also known as mission creep. If you're going to go after a grant to start a program, it needs to be a program you were going to start anyway. So if you got the grant, or if you didn't, you were going to do it. Don't chase the money. Go after money that's going to fit in alignment with the plans that you already have for program development, program growth, and growing your organization. All right, number 5. This is probably the one that I was most guilty of early on. Reason number 5 that you're not getting grants is that your grant is very poorly written. It might either be that your sentences are disjointed, it's not flowing, or you may be throwing everything in the kitchen sink in there, and it just doesn't really make any sense. Now, I don't know about you, but my plate always has a lot on it, right? Yours too?
Yes.
Everybody we know that always has a very, very busy plate. Now, if that's you, and if you don't manage your time well, and then all of a sudden there's a grant deadline and you're in a hurry, you're not going to do your best work at the last minute. And so your grant, the chances of your grant being poorly written just went up significantly. So you do want to take the time to write well. Give it time so that you have time to write it and then think about it or get somebody else to look at it. An extra pair of eyes can be super helpful in making sure that your grant is well written.
And to check your grammar and stuff like that,
Oh,
too.
gosh, yeah.
Definitely.
Boy, if I was on a funding panel, that's one of the first things I would kick a grant out for is spelling and grammatical errors.
Yeah.
Like, just, ugh. And that leads us right to reason number 6, and that is you didn't follow the directions. If the funder says, here's exactly what we want to know, here's how we want you to present the information, we want you to write this and put it with 3-inch margins on purple paper and mail it to us, guess what you do? You write it with 3-inch margins, you print it on purple paper, whatever the funder asks you to do, you do exactly that and not a whole lot more. If you do more than they're asking for, that's actually, I think, a reason for them just to disqualify you from the pile.
They definitely probably won't review it if you throw in way too much. There's a reason why they're asking for what they're asking for, because that's what they want to use to help them make their decisions. You know, if a funder wants you to provide something additional, then they will give you that option to do that. And that usually shows up in the instructions where it says, you know, feel free to provide optional information, stories, or supporting pictures, anything like that. So that's where you only do that if they ask you to, though.
Yep. And one of the programs that we run here at Get Fully Funded is called Project Smart Sprout. And inside Project Smart Sprout, we give away grant money. And it's a members-only grant. It's actually a lot of fun. Yeah. And this is something that we've noticed in the last year is we have some specific instructions and some very specific, like there's 4 questions basically, isn't like 4 or 5? It's not a lot.
Simple.
And where we'll ask for specific information, and we're fairly surprised at the number of people who don't answer the question. They give us information we didn't ask for. They give us information we really didn't care about. They don't follow the instructions. They don't give us just what we need. Now that one also leads us right to number 7, which is not submitting the grant on time. You would be amazed how many people who will submit something. Well, there goes the train. People who submit grants after the deadline, and you got to really watch this one. This can be a little tricky. So, for example, if the funder says submit your grants by March 1st, you got to really look and see, what does that mean? Does that mean before March 1st? Does that mean end of the day, March 1st? Because those are 2 real different things. Yep. We actually have missed a grant once here because we didn't look carefully enough, and that actually was what happened.
It wasn't me, though.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
It was a long time ago.
It was a
very,
long
very
time
long
ago.
Time ago.
And that was a lesson that we caught and went like, well, okay, I guess we're going to be super clear about the deadline.
Also, what happens too with the deadlines, you want to give yourself enough time to submit because technology is horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times that either the internet goes out or the power might go out or the system that you're entering your grant into, let's say grant portal, will just go haywire all of a sudden, because that's happened to me before with government grants. So just give yourself plenty of time for that.
Or there's an ice storm the day that
that's happened to me too.
That you plan to hand deliver the grant to the local foundation. That's happened to her.
Car breaks down. That happened too.
I've been driving around downtown Knoxville at like 10 to 5 on the day the grant's due, and I can't find a parking spot.
It's amazing what you'll just allow to happen. I don't care if I get a parking ticket. That's fine.
Gotta get the grant in. Oh my goodness. Can you tell we have a lot of stories to share? We got it. All right. Reason number 8, you ask for the wrong type of support. Some foundations are real particular about what they like to support. So maybe they only want to give you program or project money. They're not really interested in general operating, or vice versa. And if you try to ask for what you need instead of what is a match for that foundation, you run the risk of just not getting a grant at all.
Yep.
All right, that's it for today. There's your grant tips. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.